Intro music.
Come on in.
A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3,000.
And the ball game is over. The series is over. Welcome to Slam Diego.
My name is James,
My name is Joey.
and this is the Brothers Padre.
You know, sometimes in life, James, good things happen, but they don't feel so good. And sometimes recency erodes goodness because we're only human, James. And the things that are most present seem to cloud the past. And that's how I feel currently about the San Diego Padres.
To simplify it, imagine somebody gives you a present. It's the thing you've always wanted your whole life. It's the thing that brings back all the wonderful childhood memories. And then they kick you in the balls.
The San Diego Padres, the past 15 games, are 10-5. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But they played the Dodgers this weekend and didn't go as planned.
No.
We're here to talk about a little bit of perspective around the past 8 games. And we'll go from there. How about that? Like a therapy session. Like, how do we figure this out? How do we look at the good and trust the good and get past the bad? 8 games ago, we flew to Mexico City and had a hoot, I would say.
An absolute hoot.
San Diego Padres swept the Giants. The Mexico City series was the physics were like being on the moon. We scored lots of runs. One of the first games, 16-11. That was a nice number.
That was a nice number.
It seemed like every single Padres hit a home run. Vibes were good.
They started a new piñata celebration in the dugout in the locker room after the game. Whoever was the game's most valuable player wears the sombrero. They showed up for the home run celebration, which is awesome, and they break a piñata. Thank you, Nick Martinez, for he's the one doing this the piñatas. I don't know who brought the sombreros, but that's the new home run celebration. Vibes were high.
Yeah. Yeah, really good offensive output. The pitching was bad because playing in high altitude is not great for pitching. So, but we swept the series. Vibes were good. Came back home, played the Reds. Should have swept him, but it was 2 out of 3. And vibes got weird, I would say. Not super bad, just different. Because the offensive output didn't follow us, per se. And we still won 2 out of 3. That's still pretty good. And the Dodgers came into town. We took the first game of the series, and then lost the next 2 games in games that Padres could have won and probably should have won, but didn't win. And that's kind of how now we're viewing the past 15 games, is through the lens of the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And it's rough because, like, the Dodgers are the best opponent we've faced in the past 15 games. I do believe that. And it's just so frustrating to see an opponent that the talent of the San Diego Padres is good enough to beat them. And you just didn't. And instead, it felt like big moments arose, and we did nothing with them. And it was a real bummer.
It was a real bummer.
The last game was a complete heartbreaker, and it was a bummer. It was a bummer of a series. Yeah.
The worst part was, Yu Darvish pitched a gem the first game of the series. Mm-hmm. Blake Snell pitched a gem the second game of the series, only gave up 2 runs. The previous game, Blake Snell, those last 2 games has been pristine, great Snell.
Yep.
Joe Musgrove today pitched an amazing game. It just really stinks when you can't capitalize on a good starting pitching performance.
Yep.
Our 3 best pitchers gave us ace quality starts, but for whatever reason, and I think here's the most frustrating part. Our offense is hitting. They just can't seem to get 2 hits in a row.
Right.
The first game of the series, we had somebody on base every inning.
Yep.
It seemed like. This we can't string them together. Machado today, the end of the game, the end of the series, had 3 hits. I think Tatis had 2 hits. Bogarts had a hit. We just can't string them together. Cronenworth had a hit. It was just the problem. It just can't string hits together. That's the most frustrating thing. Soto, he started to look good again doing it against the Reds, and in Mexico he was hitting well, and now against the Dodgers, he's back to weak ground balls, double plays. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like the second game of the Dodgers series, definitely we just should have won. We had second, third, no outs with Soto, Machado, and Bogarts, and we didn't capitalize and win that. We lost by 1 run. You just can't do that. You can't expect to win, go far if your 3 of your top 4 players can't take advantage of that situation.
Yeah,
and it just feels like it just doesn't feel like we're getting the clutchness when we should. It feels like once we get late in the game, and if we're not playing Mexico, it's just kind of, there's just not a lot of spark late in the game. We're now 0-3 in extra innings, and it just doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. And so I don't know what the solution is, because I think connecting hits, we're second to last in baseball with average and runners in scoring position. So we don't hit when people are on, and that's really bad. And I just think the solution is just hitting more, but it's just not. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix that, because I think that the concoction is there with this team to be correct, right? We know how to win. We know how to, we have the right talent, but just the execution's not there. I just don't know. I don't know beyond radically bumping Soto down a bunch or doing something. How do you get out of this funk of, and maybe it's just a Dodgers series thing where it's all mental, and they just, they go to Minnesota this week and it's just all different, or they go the road. I was very surprised we played so well, quote unquote, at home, because we traditionally don't. But you think about it, 2 games were at Mexico City technically at home, and then 1 was against the Reds. So
yeah, nothing against the Reds.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the road. Maybe it's just one of those things where the thought of Petco is just in their heads, and they just don't. Soto got upset that he flew out to deep left field or deep center field the other day. Why didn't it out a home run? You just can't think about those sorts of things, right? It isn't a hitter friendly park. But no, it doesn't have struggle. Mookie Betts did hit a home run. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, except hit more, hit when people are on, take more chances. That's probably the other thing I would say is the Padres' approach sometimes can be pretty frustrating when it's just we're gonna make the pitcher throw tons of pitches, but then don't swing at the final pitch. You're only a threat to draw out pitches if you can actually hit the pitch that they're trying to make.
Yeah.
And we just aren't doing that either. So
I'm all for making the pitcher throw a ton of pitches as long as it's the starter.
Yep.
Nobody cares if you make the reliever throw 30 pitches in 1 inning, because we're not going to see him the next inning.
Nope.
The point is to get to the relievers.
Yep.
The point is to play, when you play a series, you play the series. You start this, if you could start a series by knocking out their starter early and seeing 4 or 5 bullpen arms, you have such a better chance of winning a whole series. Because and then you can knock out the pitcher in the next game early, the starter, and then you tire out their bullpen.
Yep.
It's I'm all for drawing out at bats as long as it's the starter. When the relievers come in, most relievers are programmed to throw strikes because their whole idea is to, majority speaking, overpower the offense to get through one inning. They only have to throw all their best stuff for one inning. So usually fastball you look for during a reliever, or most relievers only have 2 pitches.
Yep.
It is frustrating, and again, the most frustrating thing about it, again, since Tatis is back, the last 15 games, we're 10-5, and if you look at it that way, and if we from here until the end of the season win double the amount of games that we lose, we're going to be the best team in baseball. That's just mathematical proof right there. It's just frustrating because when you watch every game of the year and you see the little details that we could tweak, it's really frustrating. And the most frustrating thing is Soto. If today, yes, he made an error in the outfield, and then cost us a run, and then didn't hit in timely spots. That's fine. Those kind of games happen. But if he had 2 hits the previous game and helped us win the previous game, more forgivable. But he just has these peaks and valleys, and it's kind of frustrating. Machado hasn't been hitting. Really, he hit in Mexico. Really didn't hit against Cincinnati, but is hitting today against.
Yep.
He owns Urias.
Yep.
Like, obviously, Machado loves women, so he speaks out against that. Because Urias, as you all know, doesn't love women. And watching Tatis hit home runs off of Kershaw is great.
Yeah. What do you think? It's a weird episode because we can objectively say we're doing fine in a 15 game sample. We're doing great in a 15 game sample, right?
Yes.
But you and I watch every game. People watch a lot of games, and they know these little things you just can make or break seasons, right? So if you're Bob Melvin, AJ Preller, what is the move? 127 games left. What's the move you make to unfunk this situation of not timely hitting and mental errors? Maybe not mental errors, just like not being clutch. What do you do?
Well, I think Bob Melvin, during his press conference at the end of tonight's game, he mentioned that Brett Sullivan's going to get more starts because Austin Nola is a wet blanket when it comes to swinging a bat. You brought up that Sullivan has had a third of the at-bats that Nola has had this year, has the same batting average, same amount of home runs, the same RBIs.
Yeah.
And the third of the at-bats.
Right.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
And whenever Campusano comes back, put him in the lineup. I honestly think what we need to do is change up the lineup.
Yeah.
I would have Bogarts lead off, maybe Cronenworth hit next, Tatis, Machado, Soto. Something has to change. I know Tatis is phenomenal up on the top. Wherever you put that kid, he hits.
Yeah.
So maybe and Soto does better when he hits second and first. It's very frustrating. I don't know. Again, frustrating as all heck. I don't know what we do, honestly. Maybe bring in better hitting scouts.
Yeah, I think you have to ride it out until the All-Star break and see. You just hope that this talent hits. You just do. You just no way else around it. You just have to hope for it. And next podcast we could just be like, yeah, they're 4-2 on the road. and you're fine with, like, once again, if you double the amount of wins against your losses, you're doing great.
Exactly.
If we take both the next two series against the Twins and the Dodgers, maybe it's just tough to say, because we know this offense, the expectation of this offense going into the season was explosive.
Yes.
It's just thermonuclear. You're going to have a tough time keeping up with this. And that's not what we're seeing. We're just not seeing that, and just it seemed meek and it seemed pensive and not aggressive. And that's not what I really want to see. I want to see an aggressiveness, and I want to see a lot more home runs. And we're just not seeing that. And that's I think the most frustrating part, is that the expectation we all set on ourselves because of the people we acquired. And now we're in this place of like, well, I hope that one run's enough in the ninth against a very good team. And that's the crazy thing. It's just both games, the end of his Dodgers series, went to ninth inning with 2-1 scores. And that's just kind of not great.
Well, yeah, to look on the bright side of that fact, up until the last inning, and Brett Honeywell has some dominant stuff, but there's an 80% of the time he's lights out, and the 20% of the time, we've seen it already this year once or twice, he just can't locate every one of his pitches, and he gives him a bunch of hits. That's what happened today. But what I was going to say before that, we held them 1 for 22 with runners in scoring position.
Yep.
That means our pitching staff was beating them beat by beat, and they held us, I think we were 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position. We're two very competitive teams with two very good pitching staffs. We had one bad reliever. Yes, Hader blew the save. He's now 14-1 in saves. So
very high.
he's leading the majors in saves. It's very rare for a closer to go up to 20 saves without a blown one. It is. So he's still technically the best closer in baseball. And you can't blame a player for one bad game when he's been lights out the whole season. It's very frustrating. And maybe because we watch every game and we analyze every game, and maybe it's because I don't have much of a life, and this is all my life is built around. I don't know.
I will say something positive, though. I think Blake Snell's looked awesome.
He has looked awesome.
And that's been really cool. And I think I like when Blake Snell's is on with Don and Mud. It's great content. And he only does that when he has a good outing the day before. So I think I would love to see more of that. I think I'm happy that it seems like a rotation has found a groove, which is really cool. I think it's a very positive thing, and I hope it continues, because if Musgrove, Snell, and Darvish we can consistently rely on them to give us 6-7 innings, that's a pretty good place. And it looked like it this past week and a half, apart from Mexico, which was
Musgrove has a 10 ERA, and that's only because of Mexico.
Yeah. So we'll see. But let's turn this to a positive one. What do you think? So we're going to go on the road for 6 games, 3 in Minnesota and 3 in LA. What do you think is going to be the positive we'll talk about at the end of the 6 games?
Okay. So Minnesota only has one good starter. Mm-hmm. I have not looked up the projected starters for this.
We're going to face him.
We're going to face him. Okay. We're going to face Pablo Lopez.
Not great.
But here's the thing. The problem with, we have a really good rotation that can shut down really good hitters. Mm-hmm. If Seth Lugo pitches like Lugo can, and Waka doesn't have a weird game, those are 2 winnable games. Mm-hmm. Darvish pitched the last one.
Yep.
Darvish is proving himself once again one of the best starters in baseball this year. So that's another winnable game. The key is because the Twins have a very explosive offense.
Yeah.
And so, and the thing is, like, all of our Darvish can shut down. I've seen him shut down Joey Gallo even when he was a good hitter at Texas. So 2 out of 3 winning in Minnesota, super expected, and should be expected, and what we should do. It is not out of the range to say that we sweep them. 2 out of 3, I'll take. When it comes to LA, I mean, barring a giant, massive riot and then the stadium burning down in Chavez Ravine, or that giant tar pit finally bubbling up and sucking the whole city down to the depths where it belongs, I say we take 2 out of 3 there, because it just seems like they win a series in our town, we win a series in their town. And the problem is, if you're listening to this and you're a Padre fan, don't go to LA to watch it. The Dodger fans are animals. They will beat you up and stab you. Mm-hmm. The Dodger fans got all twisted out of shape because we showed a meme of Kershaw crying after they lost the game. It's ridiculous, but I'll talk about more of that at the end. So I say 4-2 has to happen. Potentially, I would like to see us be 5-1.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't. We're a better team on the road this year. We seem to be a better team on the road past couple of years for whatever reason. It's okay. I just watch the games in person a lot. It's fine. I don't need to see them win. Why pay money to watch your team win? That's what a stupid idea. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. I need to vent a little bit about that. But the Padres hate me, and they don't want me to see me. They know when I come into town. When I enter Petco Park, the Padres are like, oh, we can't win now. We can't give him joy today. He spent all of his money. He got parking passes. We can't let him.
You found a babysitter. These days, yeah.
We can't let him get that satisfaction. Regardless, I think I really worry about Waka against Minnesota, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think. I just have this image of like Byron Buxton hitting 700-foot home runs off Michael Waka.
Yeah,
and it really terrifies me. I think we do. I think we get 2 wins out of Minnesota because of our pitching, and their pitching not being great. Besides Lopez, the Dodgers is kind of a crapshoot because if the same team shows up to that, if the same 2 teams show up to the same in Chavez Ravine, I mean the game's like razor thin margins about who won. Literally, I mean, it's just one team had 1 error late, and that was the decisive run that tied the game. That led to a Dodger victory, right? So I just feel like if that's the style of play we're playing, it's just going to be tough to guess. But I also know, like, you know, if you think Tatis was good in Petco, dude is he's going to perform like crazy in Dodger Stadium. He loves to do that. So I think I'm going to say 4-2. And I think what we're going to talk about Tatis getting hot and staying hot. And I think we're going to talk about I'm hoping, and this is why I will on. I think Brett Sullivan has a good week. I think his eyes have seen the glory of the coming of a Lord, and that's being a good an adequate major league hitter is like a revelation, which is a horrible thing to say, but that's all we need. We do not need a superstar at catcher. We would love it. We're not going to get it. But if we get someone, if Camp comes back this week, I would love that. Do camp in Dodger Stadium, hitting bombs, because we're gonna face Urias again, right, on Saturday.
I think so.
Yeah, I would love that.
Barring any more convictions.
Right.
And it's always a possibility with him. So this is why I'm so annoyed by this.
Okay.
Last year, after Tatis got his suspension,
Well, you need to set up the whole. This is in reference to the fact that Dodger fans are very annoyed because you mentioned this earlier. I'm just setting the context again around the Padres scoreboard person put up a meme of Kershaw crying.
Yeah.
And they got very offended, called whatever. They got called Padres trash and whatever. Very soft comments, but go ahead.
So
that's the context.
Last year, after Tatis got suspended, we played Dodger Stadium. Dodgers put up on the Jumbotron the official statement that Padres released talking about Tatis' suspension. Dodger fans were throwing fake steroid pill, blow up steroid balloons on the stadium to taunt the Padres, even though Tatis wasn't even on the field. So don't tell me, LA, that you have, we're a tacky team. I'm sorry. No, what I think we should do next time the Dodgers come to town and Urias, I like to beat up my girlfriend in a parking lot and get arrested. Urias shows up. Instead of having his official Dodger photo, we show his freaking mugshot up there. That's what I think we should do, because I'm sorry. Rooting for somebody who took steroids to try to get back in the game quicker is far different than an actual crime against a woman. So no, don't tell me, you scum of the earth LA people. I'm so sick of this nonsense. I'm sick of the fact that we can't go see a Dodger Padre game without having the fear of some wackadoo psychopath stabbing us in the kidney. It happens every year. Some Padre fan gets hurt, and it's not just the Padre fans. 2 years ago, they blinded that one Giants fan was physically blinded by a Dodger fan. They crippled a Diamondback fan. These people are psychopaths. I'm sick of it. We should bar them. You see an LA hat coming in, you should kick them out. It's like, no. It's like a swastika walking into a synagogue. You leave. You're not allowed in here, sir, you hateful person. You're not allowed. You don't deserve to be in San Diego, where we're nice, honest people, and then tell us that we're tacky because we show a meme and you guys literally stab us and hit. I'm sick of it. I'm so unbelievably sick of Dodger fans. They are the worst people. They are the scum of the earth. They deserve nothing in life because they are nothing. Furthermore, they come to our city, they treat us like garbage, they cheer, they scream, they want to get into fights with Padre fans. We just want to watch a ball game because we're good people that just want to be entertained. You people have such a zero life. You want to come to our pristine city and start a fight with us? No, I say. No. You people are tacky, and if you want us to be dirty, fine. Let's go to your level. Next time Urias pitches here, folks, let's throw blow-up dolls on the field with black eyes. Let's put giant signs up. I hit women, Urias. Let's do this. You want to throw dirt, Dodger fans? Because let's face it, this isn't your first run-in with the law with your players. You could go back through the decades. You seem to always sign the scum of the earth players. Bauer rings a bell, Puig. Remember Puig? Oh man, he didn't have a single crime against him until they got to LA, and then all of a sudden he just starts battering women. No, let's do this. You want to call us tacky for showing a little revenge, the most mildest revenge possible? No, we can go worse. We can make you people regret coming here. What were you gonna say, Joey?
I'm just really glad that all of our Dodger listeners are listening to us right now.
The fans will know.
Yeah, I don't share the same level of vehemence you have, but it is very tacky that they are so upset by things. I agree.
And they're the worst at it. Houston still can't play. Every time they come to Dodger Stadium, it's been 3 years. They still throw trash cans on the field.
Yeah.
Don't tell me tacky. You are the quintessential tackiest people. I'm sorry. You're from LA. Hollywood, that's the king of tackiness. How are we supposed to take you seriously when you worship celebrity Hollywood people? I'm sorry. Half of them were Harvey Weinstein. The other half of them knew Jeffrey Epstein personally. I'm sorry. Tacky? You want to go with tacky? You criminal? No, sorry. You worship adult pretenders. You think that you're better than everybody else. And furthermore, ESPN, you suck. You suck so hard, ESPN. If you watch the coverage, you would think they were in LA. Who do they mic up and talk to in the game? Mookie Betts. I'm sorry, they're in San Diego. Why didn't they mic up Manny Machado? Well, because Mookie Betts was there. Who the heck cares about Mookie Betts? We're in San Diego. We're at Petco Park, voted as the most beautiful park in baseball. When was Chavez Ravine voted as? Oh, yeah, a toilet. It's a literal toilet. If there wasn't Oakland, Chavez Ravine would be the worst ballpark in baseball because it's a toilet. It's ridiculous. Furthermore,
I thought your fourth furthermore.
Anyways, so I'm so tired of it. And ESPN, you guys suck. You suck so hard. And whoever the official scorekeeper was, I'm sorry, Mookie Betts didn't give Mookie Betts an error when the ball popped out of his glove and caused a run, but they gave an error to Soto when the ball popped out of his glove and caused a run. That is the quintessential big market bias that I'm so tired of. Even the score people, I hate ESPN. I hate whoever did the scoring. It's all ridiculous. It's all so biased because, they're still a smart market team. No, you're a bunch of losers. You're all in on it. You're garbage people. And I'm sorry, you all deserve to go to jail for some reason. Don't pretend like you don't. I mean, let's face it. All I have to say is LAX is the biggest hub for for illegal slavery, child slavery goes to LAX more than any place in the world. That tells you something right there. It's because they're all okay on it. They're all in on it. And I am totally tired, totally upset. And I'm just like, they come in to our city with this, like, it's a plague. It's like a biblical plague of all these scum that come into our city whenever they come to town. And it's ridiculous. And you want to call us tacky? How dare you? And everybody in the West Coast Division, National League West Coast Division, is treated this way. And they're all, you're tacky. No, you guys come to our cities and you literally kill our people. Don't tell me this. And then you tell us that because we try to get back you a little bit, we're tacky. No, tacky. My gosh. Just look at LA. It's a garbage chute. I am so glad Hollywood's dying, because once Hollywood's dead, we're gonna have all those whiny people, and then maybe LA itself will die. And you know what? If we could cut off that whole part and just shove it in the ocean, more the better. I think I'm done.
I don't know what to say, James, but I would say that you have strong feelings on the matter. I think that you've held back a little bit. I wish you were more honest, I guess.
Only because we're a family-friendly podcast. Yeah.
I don't know much to say on that, James. I don't think there's much more to add on that. I think you encapsulate a lot more than what I thought you were going to talk about, but you did it. You did it in a way that I think people understand. People, I think, aren't going to misconstrue your passions, that's for sure. So, I think that's how we have to end it. So, until next time, go Padres.
Go Padres.
And there it is! Oh, doctor! You can hang a star on that, baby!